is a spiritual deity. Freedom and liberty and justice shall fight for you. When you fight for freedom with all your soul, take it from me. This is Broadcasting Corporation of Biafra, BCB, the voice of the nation, the voice.
And here is a special announcement from the leadership of Biafra government in exile. This is BCB.
What we mustn't do in this generation and generations to come is to stop making the case for Biafra to leave Nigeria and become once again an independent nation that it should be. It would be a very big mistake if we stop making those arguments, because we have a genuine case. And anytime, any day we put those cases across, in any fora, in any room, in any debate, we are bound to win. And we must aspire and continue to agitate for an independent nation of our own. A peaceful nation of Biafra, living in peace with our neighbors. A prosperous nation of Biafra, a just and equitable nation of Biafra, a land of opportunity, where everyone, regardless of where you come from, will have the same opportunities. A nation that will become the pride and strength of the continent of Africa. And that is why we are fighting. That is why we are agitating in a civil and peaceful way for Biafra to once again be independent, be free from subjugation under Nigeria. The continued existence of our people as a free people under God remains at the core of the struggle for the independence of Biafra, the struggle for self-determination. Our children and their children in generations to come into the future must exist freely in a peaceful and developing and secure homeland. This is very key, and this is why those who believe in honesty and in truth, those who commit their time and resource to this struggle will continue to do so, because it hinges in the final analysis on our existence and our continued existence, generations upon generations. And as we all know, these prospects of our existence in prosperity, in harmony, in opportunity are non-existent in Nigeria. And so it makes sense, absolute sense, that we continue, we don't give up on our struggle for self-determination and to be a separate nation from Nigeria, where those opportunities, those hopes, those aspirations will be realized. In Nigeria, we constantly face this threat of extermination, not only of subjugation, not only of Islamization, but extermination. We live with people who believe that it's either the Quran or the sword, who believe that we are not entitled to our homeland. They have tried to exterminate us before in a genocidal war. And they will try again. And so this threat of extermination, subjugation, and marginalization is what drives us to make sure that we establish a homeland that is secured and our children are not faced with those same threats and fears as we do. And if you look from infrastructural development, look at things like railways, airports, seaports, power and energy and manufacturing, Eastern Nigeria, Biafra land is relegated to the background and treated as a conquered territory in Nigeria. Our people are constantly killed, murdered in large numbers. Whether you talk of the pogroms that happened in 1966 from July to October, or the genocidal war, especially the massacres in Asaba, Elele, and places like Oron, where the Nigerian military literally wiped out communities, just to mention a few. And subsequent unrests, when they happen in Nigeria, especially in the north and Lagos, Igbos and their property and business are destroyed, they are killed, they are targeted. Comes to mind very quickly places like Kafanchan, Kano, Maiduguri, some areas in Plateau, where we've seen attacks and destruction of Igbo lives and property. And not only the Igbos, but every ethnic nationality in the old eastern region, Biafra land. So, Igbos and Biafrans have paid a colossal price, very high price, as a result of being part of Nigeria. Colossal loss of life, colossal backwardness, colossal loss of opportunity for being coupled together in this contraption called Nigeria. A lot of opportunities are lost the last 4 or 5 decades. When you look at the trajectory of development in Eastern Region Biafra land, between 1958 roughly to about 1965, 66 or thereabout, you cannot help but ponder of what might have been or where we could have been as a people, as a nation, a free, separate nation. Possibly we could have been more developed than even Singapore, Malaysia, Israel, South Korea, Argentina, Brazil, or even more developed than some parts of the Western and Eastern European countries, and some of the Scandinavia countries as well. Or at worst, we will be at par with them in terms of innovation, science and technology, manufacturing, high GDP per capita, top-notch infrastructure of roads, rails, airports, seaports, hospitals, schools, and many more. Achieving full employment, thriving small and medium-scale industries, thriving jobs, massive food production, and being food sufficient, research and production driving exports, and giving us healthy balance of trade and balance of payments, and creating wealth for all of our people. Having sound security, ensuring that everyone is valued, that everyone is a valued member of a safe, happy, and productive nation. And all that hope, all that dream, all that could have been, when you think about it, have all disappeared into oblivion. Because we are forced into this unholy union with Nigeria and have not been able to extricate ourselves from it. I sincerely believe that even the Yoruba nation, the people and nation of Yoruba land, can say the same thing as we are saying now. And they feel the same way as we do. Also, I believe that the nation and people of Ijaw, Gwari, Nupe, Hausa, and many other nations that were coupled together in 1914 can all and must, I'm sure, be feeling the same way. You look at what's been happening in the last 8 to 10 years, insecurity, poverty, sickness, illiteracy, out of school children in millions, corruption and corrupt governments, criminals in government and in the national assemblies, stealing and looting of the executives and legislatures and the judiciary. Judiciary that's supposed to be the hope, the last hope of the common man, compromised. These evil and corruption have reached alarming proportions. So this criminal enterprise called Nigeria must be decoupled. And I'm happy to debate this with anyone in any place. The people and nations within the Middle Belt, the Yorubas, and all peoples, the Hausas even, must come together and work together and reason together and think about the way forward, our future. And you must come to the conclusion that the decoupling of Nigeria must be at the heart of our survival, our corporate survival. This criminal enterprise must be dismantled to free indigenous nations that have been held in bondage for over 100 years now. There must be a way forward. In all these, the agitation for the restoration of Biafra must remain peaceful. And so anyone, whether an individual or group, whether you are in the homeland or you are in diaspora, and you are engaging in any form of violence, or you are funding violent activities in eastern Nigeria, Biafra land, or you are engaging in criminal activity in the name of Biafra, you need to be clear now that you are not for the struggle, rather you are against the struggle for freedom and liberty. I want you to be in no doubt that a time of reckoning will surely come if you engage in any criminal activity in the name of Biafra struggle. If the existing laws do not catch up with you now, our laws in the fullness of time will surely catch up with you. So let me appeal to you, especially the youth again, especially in Alibo. Do not allow anyone to use you in any guise to perpetrate criminality. In the name of Biafra. Do not be used. The fight to liberate our nation is not a fight of guns and bullets in this day and in this age. It is a fight that we will fight with our brains and our minds and our intellect, engaging relevant authorities locally and internationally, and making sure that we put our case across succinctly and powerfully. Because we do have a case. Crimes have been committed against us. We had a nation, and we are entitled to decide whether we restore that nation in a process that allows democratic principles and legal principles and diplomatic principles to be used. And to our so-called Igbo elites and so-called politicians, are you indeed representing your people? That is the question you have to ask yourself. We hear of colossal amounts of money misused that are meant for communities. Some of you have been senators for 10 years or more, collecting on a yearly basis millions of naira meant for you to commission projects, deliver projects that will impact the life of your people. Who are you working for? For your people or for yourselves? So if you've been a senator, what are you doing with the billions you've been receiving for projects in your constituency? In a decent society, every senator in the last 20 years could have been subjected to scrutiny, an independent audit to hold you accountable for every kobo given to you for your constituency projects. And so, you are supposed to establish health and community centers in your villages and towns, build play areas for children and young people, renovate and build new schools, roads, improve your markets, fund local security, empower local businesses, and so on. But you put those monies in your own pockets. You bank them abroad for your children and for yourselves. And when you die, those foreign governments will use those monies to further develop their own countries. And so who is being foolish? You need to ask yourself what you are doing. What have you done? So it's time we start to hold elected representatives, governors, senators, accountable. You must know that you have power, and power belongs to the people. Biafra government in exile will continue to fight for Biafra to leave Nigeria and become once again a free, independent nation. We must do this. We will continue to do this through peaceful agitation. diplomatic and legal instruments and collaboration with other free nations who support freedom, equity, human rights, and justice. I want to call again for the release of all Biafra detainees in Nigeria, especially Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We honor all our veterans and those who paid the ultimate price in the last 50 years. And we say, may God bless you. And we say, may God bless our nation, Biafra.
This is the Broadcasting Corporation of Biafra, BCB.
This is BCB, the Broadcasting Corporation of Biafra, bringing you the news headlines for the week. In the news this week, from businessday.com, food security. Imo State government should begin to use the silos at Ezinachi. From politicsnigeria.com, Nnamdi Kanu will be free very soon. Ohanaeze Ndigbo assures Southeast residents. From OperaNews.com, Nigeria's defense headquarters tags Simon Ekpa, 96 others as wanted for terrorism. Stay tuned for details to follow shortly. Food security. Imo State government should begin to use the silos at Ezinachi. A food expert and project development consultant, Collins Emeka Ejogo, has said that the prevailing food crisis in the country would be worse and linger for a long time in Nigeria if nothing urgent is done as an intervention. He advised the Imo State government to open up the silos built at Ezinachi in Okigwe local government area to store grain as an intervention measure so as to avert the food crisis induced by societal vices in the state. The consultant further advised the Imo State government to begin without delay the cultivation of rice because it was the most common grain in the southeast and which has a short gestation period. Ejogu, who spoke exclusively to our correspondents in Owerri, said that the major grain that was in demand is rice, and because of its short gestation period, it is possible for the state government to concentrate on rice. We have on our own privately identified the areas that we can use. For instance, there is a rice project at Aronde Zogu in Idato North local government area of the state, which we are trying to do with the African Development Bank. But up till now, that project has been stalled. There is also another one along Imo River in Ngo Opala local government area of the state. So these are locations that can be developed, but they are all capital intensive. He disclosed that the main issue that stalled the rice project at Aronde Nzogo was that the Central Bank of Nigeria insisted that they wanted a guarantee from the state government, and the state government didn't do it. That was why that project was stopped. He further said, but I want to quickly inform you that the Central Bank of Nigeria is willing to fund this project. And there was a program they had when they approved 2 billion naira for Rochas Okorocha's government for rice project, but the project didn't materialize. So they are willing to do it again because of the urgent need now. You know, we are going into farming, and if something is not done between now and the next 6 months, it will be fatal. Ejogo has called on the Imo State government to cultivate rice on the already identified area and store at the silo built at Ezinachi. He further advised that the Imo State government, under Governor Hope Uzodinma, could also mop up rice from other rice-producing states like Kebbi, Taraba, and Ebonyi, and store at the Ezinachi silo. From politicsnigeria.com, Nnamdi Kanu will be free very soon, Ohanaeze Ndigbo assures Southeast residents. The Apex Igbo Social Cultural Organization, Ohanaeze Ndigbo, has urged the followers of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, not to engage in violence over his fresh bail application, which the court dismissed. On Tuesday, the Federal High Court in Abuja dismissed a fresh application of the detained IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu, who filed to be released on bail pending the determination of the charge the Nigerian government preferred against him. Instead, Trial Justice Bintan Yako ordered an accelerated hearing of the government's 7.7-count charge against him. However, Ohanaeze President General Chief Emmanuel Nwanyango, reacting to the development, urged youth to be patient. The national spokesperson, Dr. Alex Obunna, stated this in a statement, saying the IPOB leader did not support arson or bloodshed. The group stated, today, Tuesday, the 19th of March, 2024, the Federal High Court deliberated on the case of our son and brother, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nigerian youths expected that he will be granted bail after spending several months in incarceration. This case has been adjourned till the 17th of April 2024. I wish to appeal to all Nigerian youths to exercise some patience and avoid any act that would lead to the destruction of life and property. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has made it very clear on many occasions that he will not support any act of arson or bloodshed. We put our trust in the divine providence of Almighty God, and by God's grace, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be free from incarceration very soon. I appeal to everyone to be patient. Meanwhile, Kanu's case was adjourned till the 17th of April 2024. From operanews.com, Nigeria's defense headquarters tags Simon Ekpa, 96 others, as wanted for terrorism. On March the 23rd, 2024, Nigeria's defense headquarters made a significant announcement declaring 96 individuals wanted for their involvement in terrorism, violent extremism, and acts of cessationism. Among the most prominent names on the list is Simon Ekpa, a factional leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, as confirmed by Major General Edward Buba, Director of Defense Media Operation in Abuja. The sweep of this crackdown spans across multiple regions, reflecting the diverse threats faced by Nigeria. In the Northwest Zone, notorious for banditry and kidnapping, 43 individuals have been declared wanted. The list includes several bandits leaders, such as Alhaji Shinji and Bello Turji. Known for their violent activities, the Northeast, still grappling with the menace of Boko Haram and Islamic State, West Africa province terrorists, sees 33 names listed, including commanders like Abu Zaida and Modus Sulam. Meanwhile, the North Central and Southeast zones have not been spared, with 21 insurgents, militants, and violent criminals declared wanted, highlighting the national scales of the security challenge. Simon Ekpa's inclusion on this list is particularly noteworthy due to his high-profile status as a factional leader within IPOB. His activities, along with those of other key figures like Chike Doziem and Thank God Gentle, underscore the complex nature of the threats facing Nigeria, involving not just banditry and terrorism, but also secessionist movements. The absence of bounties on these wanted persons adds an intriguing layer to the military strategy, focusing purely on apprehension and neutralization of threats. The Defense Headquarters approach indicates a comprehensive strategy aimed at addressing the root cause and manifestation of terrorism and extremism across Nigeria. By publicly naming these individuals, the military seeks to disrupt the operational capabilities of these groups and garner public support for their efforts. The distribution of wanted individuals across various zones also highlights the geographical spread of Nigeria's security challenges, demanding coordinated and multifaceted response. As Nigeria grapples with diverse security threats, the declaration of 97 individuals as wanted for terrorism marks a significant escalation in the state's efforts to combat terrorism and maintain national security. The inclusion of high-profile figures such as Simon Ekpa signals a firm stance against secessionist movements and violent extremism. While the immediate implications of this announcement are yet to unfold fully, the long-term impact on Nigeria's security landscape and its fight against terrorism will be closely watched by both national and international observers, underlying the importance of sustained and collaborative efforts in addressing these pervasive challenges. That brings an end to the news headlines for the week. This is BCB saying to you goodbye, friends, and thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to us today. Join us next time for news, cultural, and educational programs. This is the Broadcasting Corporation of Biafra, BCB.
Defending thee. shall be our dedication. strength. Give us the strength.